It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sam Lesante Show. This is the continuation of the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce TV series. It's funny because when we started this series, we said we'll do about 6 shows, and that would be it. Well, as we're doing the shows, there's so much great information that we're being able to provide to you, the public, not only for Schuylkill County, but the surrounding counties that we service. And Bob Carl, who is the chief executive here, president, and I get together and try to bring as much information as we can. Bob is sort of like my co-host. Bob, how was your vacation?
It was very good, thank you. Thank you.
He gets a chance to go away. I have to work for a living, my friends. But it was a well-earned. You really did.
I hadn't had a vacation since before the pandemic started, so
well, that's good.
Couple days away was nice.
That's good. Will you enjoy yourself?
I did.
That's good. You behaved down there in Florida?
Absolutely. I went to see the Daytona 500 again. It was awesome.
A lot of people, was it?
Oh, packed, sold out.
Yeah,
sold out well in advance.
Yeah. I went to a race many years ago up in Poconos, and it's exciting when it starts, but after a while it's like,
Well, at Daytona it's exciting all the way because it's a super speedway, and the unanticipated always happens, especially near the end of the race. So I've been going for years, and it's never lacking excitement.
Good. So you come back here and, just pick up what's going on. So, as we're bringing information today, we got a great show, right?
We have a tremendous show.
Before we start talking about Mike Tobash and what he's going to talk about, let's talk about some of the shows that are coming up and some of the reasons, again, why we have this show.
Well, again, we're trying to show what the collective good work of a Chamber of Commerce through now, I think, 810 members and growing every month. Can do for a community, and how businesses and nonprofits interact. And then in our situation here in Schuylkill, as you and I have spoken about many times, we have another unique situation that we have 9 affiliate community organizations that we don't in any way control. Some chambers through multi-counties do control other business organizations, but we umbrella them. And so these 9 communities in Schuylkill County, with either called chambers or business associations, we umbrella them, and our staff works with them to do more great work collectively in collaboration and partnership with these downtown businesses, if you will. And so I think today's show actually is a part of something that you and I have spoken about we're going to continue, which is to highlight in these communities, in these affiliate communities, the great work that's going on. Because we have the greater work through the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce for all of Schuylkill County, but then there's very specific initiatives in all of these communities.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The individual other chambers, each town has their own concerns.
Right.
All right, so maybe Tamaqua, what their concern is nothing what Pottsville has or your other affiliates. At any time, if they have a problem or a concern that they'd like to address in these communities, that you've already had here and resolved.
Exactly.
Is this where they'd say, look, this is what we can do to help you? So when do you come in to help these individuals?
Well, I mean, on a day-to-day basis, we get calls like that all the time, and they're very specific sometimes to a community, and we deal with them. But then what we do is we take this information and we meet quarterly with all these groups together. So we bring the 9 communities together quarterly, and we share these ideas. We also put some of the good work that's going on in the 9 communities in our newsletter regularly, because like we always say in the chamber world, you don't have to be inventors. You just have to share good ideas and more or less customize them. And that's the benefit of 9 communities and an overarching chamber like the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce working together.
Okay, so I was asked recently about some of the things that the chambers do, okay? Some of the projects, because I say to the viewers out there that, number one, this affects everybody. It's not only chamber members. You should be a chamber member because you gain a lot. But some of the major projects that the chamber was involved with from start to finish in Schuylkill County that affects everybody?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of them, but some key.
Well, number one, advocacy across the board, but specifically, Schuylkill County is who we are, and why we bring businesses here is because we connect I-78 to I-81, and Route 61, Pennsylvania Route 61, goes right through the middle. So over the last decade and a half, the whole 61 corridor has been revitalized. Why is that important? Well, they will not come here and build logistical, manufacturing, distribution facilities without infrastructure. And so this renovation of PA Route 61 and its importance to I-78 and I-81 is critical. It has gotten stalled many, many times across many decades, long before I came to the Chamber. But we now are in the last piece of it, the last stretch from St. Clair to Frackville. Some of this would never have happened without the advocacy of the Chamber. But we also do a lot of other things like education, programs, services, everything a business could need, provision of health care for their employees, energy procurement. These are all things that chambers do and do well because they can work together to bring people together and get better pricing and get more and better services through collaboration and partnership.
I like today's show. Mike Tobash is coming on. Let's talk about what we're going to expect to hear from Mike.
So, continued Pottsville progress, Pottsville revitalization, PADCO, the economic development engine in the city of Pottsville, the Pottsville Business Association, the Explore Schuylkill, our Visitors Bureau, all working together to bring more visitors into Schuylkill County. And today, Mike's going to explain how we're starting to bring in train excursions from Berks County to Schuylkill County, very similar to, everybody knows about Jim Thorpe and all the great work that's been done there. But we are doing that, and there's dates set up coming in April all the way through, and Mike's going to tell you what visitors coming to Pottsville can experience on these train excursions.
I'm looking forward to it. In case you're watching the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce TV series, folks, remember, Sam at ssptv.com. We're on every day from 7 to 11 on Comcast 190. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks, 24/7, ssptv.com. YouTube channel, for those of you who do not have cable, or if you know people that, we have certain guests on, like today, just go to our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see all our shows there. Joining us now, a friend of mine for many, many years, Mike Tobash. Mike's nice to see you.
It's great to see you, Sam. You look well. You're doing great.
Thank you. My wife keeps me in great shape. You know what I mean? She makes sure I do everything right, First of all, I want to thank you for what you've done when you were a state representative. You really went there and you gave it your best. You gave your, I was disappointed to see that you didn't rerun, because you're one of the few, well, in this area we have a lot of them, like Tim Chorchik, and of course we're losing Jerry Knowles now, but who really go there and did a great job, and I got to applaud you for that.
I appreciate it. Really enjoyed working on the issues and working for the constituents of the 125th District, but it was time for me to get back to the private sector, and we're working on some revitalization efforts, which we're going to be talking about today. So it's good to stay engaged, but it was a blessing to be able to serve the people of the state of Pennsylvania, and I'm proud to have been able to do it.
You had some challenges.
We sure did, but we worked on some great issues. So it was, it's really important work. It's humbling.
It certainly is, and that's why I said I applaud anyone, Democrat or Republican, who's in the office. But so now PADCO gets you and says, "All right, we can't let Mike Tobash. You have a business, right? Your insurance business, right?"
That's right. Yeah, we're in the insurance and financial service business.
Too, my friends. So they get you to say, "Okay, Mike, we have this exciting thing, which I think is exciting. Let's talk about this project, the Reading and Northern Railroad, coming into Pottsville."
Yeah, so, look, on a regional perspective, right, the Reading and Northern Railroad is a great short line rail, and you've seen what it's done. Everyone here kind of knows what it's done to help revitalize Jim Thorpe. Yeah. Right? Many people go to Jim Thorpe, they love the experience, but many of them get there by rail, or when they get there, they ride the rail up the Lehigh Gorge, and it's just a great experience. So, through a relationship with the railroad, we've convinced them to come back and make some excursions into the city of Pottsville. So they're going to leave from their northern Reading post. It's about an hour ride. They're going to advertise in the Lancaster and the Philadelphia area. It's a great it's a great way to experience our local region, go back to the heritage of rail service, and quite frankly, they're really successful and excited about their passenger rail service.
So how will that work? Then people will come in from Reading and different areas. You're bringing them here to Pottsville, right? So tell me what happens when they get here to Pottsville.
So here's what we did. So, we started this last year as a pilot program, and I think we had 3 excursions. It's really billed as a Yuengling Brewery tour with the railroad because, let's face it, our keystone is Yuengling Brewery, right? America's oldest American-owned brewery, largest. So it's tremendous that we've got that resource here, and people come from all over the United States and foreign countries to see Yuengling Brewery. But through this relationship with the rail, we want to bring them here by rail as well. So we did 3 excursions last year. They were successful, and we've got a schedule coming up in 2022 that I think is going to be well subscribed. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it.
So when they get here, okay, there are a number of places that the attractions, besides Yuengling Bureau, what are some of the other attractions that they get to see?
So I'll just say this, a number of years ago, the city of Pottsville acquired a trolley. So we've got some transport from the train station, so from Reading, the outpost of the Reading and Northern Railroad, into Pottsville. We'll put them on a trolley or some other transport, and we'll get them up into the city. Everyone who is on the train is guaranteed to have a tour of the brewery, and it gets busy during the summer months.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like I said, from people from all over the place, it's a world-class tour. And they'll do the tour, and then we've got a couple other stops on the trolley. We've got the Yuengling Mansion. That's where the family originally settled. It's a great attraction. We've got the Historical Society of Pottsville. Sam, I don't know if you've ever been in.
I've been there many times. Yes.
So it's amazing.
Yes.
So Diane does outstanding work along with
Fabulous.
their board. It's
Yes.
I always say the artifacts that built this nation exist in the Historical
Not only
Society
for
of Pottsville.
Pottsville, but it's extremely educational. I've been there. We did a few shows there, and I hope to do a few more. It's fantastic.
It's always my contention. I think every 4th grader should have an opportunity in this county to see the artifacts, like I mentioned, that are in there. Civil War things, but there's a lot of heritage of the railroad there as well. So we're talking about passenger rail right now, but let's face it, freight rail is what built Jim Thorpe, and what built Pottsville as well. The coal industry utilized the rails to make sure they got their product on that built the greatest nation in the world, and it exists right here. So the idea that the railroad can promote the brewery, America's oldest brewery, come up here and see some of these other great attractions. We've got Jerry's Car Museum, which again, another gem.
You don't have enough time for these people to really enjoy. If they're here for, are they here for the day?
Yeah, so here's what we did. So actually one of the complaints that we got, not that we had complaints, people really enjoyed it as we did these pilots.
Yeah.
But what we heard was they'd like a little bit more time in town. So we worked out with the railroad that they're going to come a little bit earlier and stay a little bit longer so more people can get on the tour to begin with, number one. And then more people have an opportunity to see some of these great things that I'm talking about. We've got a lot of great restaurants here. We've got Roma Pizza that has been downtown forever. We got Wheel and Savas Logothaitis, who's the executive director of PADCO with Wheel, and they've got national notoriety on his restaurant. We love Crimson House. Our friend Bill Sugars has opened up Park Hotel, which was formerly the Greystone. We got Pilgaroo, small brewery. The other thing that really makes this work is right at the end, where we're sitting right now, here at Union Station, right across the street is Black Rock Brewery and Springgate Winery, so plenty of things to see.
Oh my God.
And in a day, we believe that, and what we've heard is that people are going to come back and see some of the things that they didn't get.
My friends, I'm going to tell you, now when they come here, and it's so exciting, and the day is going to go like this, okay, because there's so much that you get involved with. I just think this is fabulous. I think it's fabulous.
So, look, we've seen how it's been supported in Jim Thorpe, right? And I think it's important that we get people from out of the area into other parts of the coal region, right? Into the Schuylkill and the Carbon County and Northumberland County, and the idea that you can do it by rail. In a day when people are worried about maybe going and to the brewery and stopping there afterwards or going to another restaurant, get on that train, get back to the station, enjoy your day in Pottsville, and kind of relax and enjoy the scenery on the way.
But this is really for bringing people in from out of town here, correct? Okay, so what about the current people in Schuylkill County or people watching your show say, hey, wait a minute, I'd like to be able to go to see some of these places. What do they do?
Well, well, first of all, the city of Pottsville and Schuylkill County has a lot of great tourist attractions, but is open for business. So a couple of years ago, a group of people got together for the Continued Progress Project that has been spearheaded by PADCO, right, kind of a separate entity, and worked on some of the major revitalization efforts. And we've had other communities like Pittston. Mayor Lombardo up there has been to Pottsville a number of times, kind of giving us some insight. The same thing with the people from Jim Thorpe. They've been so benevolent with the ideas that they have used and put in place to help revitalize the community. And a lot of these small cities are being re-urbanized right now, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just a phenomenon that's going on. So we think that Pottsville is well positioned, and I think that this is just another piece of the effort to make sure that we kind of bring the city back to the great heritage that it had.
The ride dates, okay, so if, here again, we're going to put the ride dates, Sam, on the screen, April the 9th. And when you say ride dates, these are the days that the people will be coming in to Pottsville on the railroad, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Now, here again, if you're watching and you're not going to be coming in a railroad and you live in Schuylkill County or Luzerne County, wherever you want, how does, if someone wants to take advantage of some of the places that these people are going to be seeing on the tour, okay, is there an opportunity for them to find out, well, what are some of the areas I'd like to come to Pottsville and I'd like to see some of these places? Is there a place that they could go to see what places are available, like we have this list here?
So there's a great, so the Visitors Bureau has put together a great walking tour of the city of Pottsville, and you could pick that up at the brewery and a number of other locations in town. So, right, it's, as we mentioned here, it's not just one spot, but again, Jerry Enders, along with the Visitors Bureau and Gina Gargano, who's the executive director,
does great work.
Yeah, exactly, have put together a lot of key pieces of literature so you can go from one spot to another. But the good thing about Pottsville, and again, a lot of these small cities, is that they're walkable, right? Getting to downtown Pottsville, you get on Center Street, and the places that I just mentioned are all just a few blocks from each other.
Mike, when John Riley was the mayor, okay, I think he was a great mayor.
And a good friend.
I really loved John, and he was so dedicated to this town, still is. But we did a show, a walking tour. Mayor Riley and I, we started from up at Greystone. And as we're walking down Pottsville, Center Street, he's explaining different things and all the different monuments and, the Yuengling Brewery and just a little mini history of what the town is about. And that was just a little capsule of the information that Pottsville, like other cities, Hazleton has great opportunities, Pittston and Wilkes. Every city has something to offer, and it's good to be able to take advantage of that. And I think this is great.
So I think you're exactly right. I'll just say this. I'll go back to the Historical Society. When you get on the trolley at the end of this trip, they will take you, and there'll be someone from the Historical Society giving that local tour as it stops at the mansion, potentially Baber Cemetery, the courthouse, and I mean, there's some great vistas there to take a look down on the city and understand the history and the heritage. But we've got volunteers from the Historical Society that are on the trolley kind of giving people the play-by-play tour as the trolley moves through town.
Well, I wish you the best with it. I know you're going to do very well with it, okay? You can facilitate 150 guests coming in. And how long is the day for them when they're coming in? Let's say I have a relative in Reading or Allentown. How do you get information about these?
So first of all, you go to the Reading and Northern Railroad website, right? So and that's really
that
where
explains everything.
Yeah, so you can take a look at it. You can find this tour, and I know that they do other tours as well. But take a look at the Yuengling tour to Pottsville, and as we mentioned here, there's a number of dates. I think we have 7 dates here that are set. Last year was a pilot. We have 7 dates this year. I think that we're going to probably be expanding this into the future.
I think you are.
Yeah, so as we continue to do it, I think that the popularity will grow, and hopefully we'll be able to do something like they do in Jim Thorpe, that once people want to come to Pottsville, maybe they can do a little excursion from Pottsville scenic river tour along the Schuylkill River and get back and have that another element of tourism right here.
Well, and when you get here, you have some restaurants, but when you explore, you got Vito's Coal Fire Pizza restaurant. You have different areas. You have the mall up the street. So there's so much to do. It's a lot of great things to do.
There's plenty to do, and we're welcoming people to the city and to Schuylkill County, and we're happy for the partnership with the railroad.
Well, Mike, it was nice seeing you.
It's a pleasure seeing you, Sam.
You work very hard and does a lot of great things for the city. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to talk to Carl. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. We're continuing our Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce TV series, bringing a lot of great information, not only for Schuylkill County, but also for the area. As you just heard Mike Tobash talking about the exciting things, what's happening here, And I got to tell you, I mentioned it with Mike, and I'm going to mention it again. We're now doing the mayor's report. Mayor Clues is on every day now with the mayor's report, bringing you up to date what's happening in downtown Pottsville. So Dave Clues, who's the mayor, brings a lot of great information. Interesting that Mike has this. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, isn't it great that a former member of the House of Representatives in the state of Pennsylvania, Mike Tobash, remains active in our community, has his own business, but is very, very concerned about the future. And, you can talk about revitalization, you can talk about bringing people to Pottsville and bringing people and businesses back into Pottsville. But at the end of the day, these are action steps that we need. And I'm proud to work with Mike and Samantha Shavinsky, my member relations director, is involved, and pulling in the Visitors Bureau and PADCO and PBA, the Business Association, all working together, because this is what revitalization's about. It's an action step, and Mike's leadership here is very important.
You know what I like about all these organizations here in Pottsville, and Mike working with all these people and the people we have had on them, you don't have real huge egos. What they do is they put their egos aside, and they work for the betterment of the community, okay? Now, I know we all should have a little ego and feel good about ourselves, but they don't have agendas. At least I don't see that, Bob, okay?
No.
I don't see that.
I don't think this community has really ever been personal agenda oriented, but if that would start happening by anybody, we need to check it up, because I've never seen anything that is on a personal agenda do very well. We are all about, in this community, collaboration and partnership, and we're committed. We're committed to Schuylkill County, the greater region, which goes beyond the Schuylkill County borders. That's why your assistance through this show is so important, because we're not only telling the Schuylkill County story, we're telling the Chamber story, and that includes Hazleton and everywhere that is doing similar great work. But at the end of the day, we're proud of the fact that this community has always rallied around each other. We can pull partners together, and we sit at a table and we get the solutions.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you. All right, what's up and coming? I'm always excited to come here.
Well, we're continue to just schedule, these kind of stories. The Pottsville story is repeated in all of these 9 communities. So I'm not sure exactly what order we're going to go in, but we're going to keep talking about the specific community affiliate stories. There's a great story in all 9 of our affiliates. Some of them we've covered, some of them are yet to be covered, and we're going to be coming into the exciting time of the year, the spring, the summer, when the activity really ramps up. And the great news, Sam, we're coming out of this pandemic.
Oh my God. It's like, wow, eureka, this is, I can't wait to, just to see some normalcy coming into our lives, and I could sense it from the people that I'm talking to, and they're excited about it. All right, looking forward to you.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate your help.
Try to do some work here, okay?
I will.
Instead of sleeping in your office.
Thank you.
Remember, sam@ssptv.com, my friends, 24/7. All the shows are there, producing over 20-some local neighborhood programs. A lot more than I think most organizations in the United States. We're talking about backdoor information, backyard information that's important for you. We'll see you next time.